To protect the world from devastation.
To unite all people within our nation.
To denounce the evils of truth and love.
To extend our reach to the stars above.
Surrender now or prepare to fight.
There's a new way to battle Pokemon, and it's wireless. Pokemon Fire Red and Pokemon Leaf Green are here, and now you can collect, train, and battle in a whole new way, only for Game Boy Advance.
Well, after many, many years, the rumors are finally actually true. We are getting old Pokemon games on the Switch family. Early this morning, it's about 4 in the morning, they came out and said, hey, we're going to start putting Fire Red and Leaf Green on the Switch family next Friday. So if you're a huge Fire Red fan like I am, that was my first Pokemon game that I ever got as a kid, I'm beyond thrilled about it. I own the physical cartridge of Leaf Green, and don't get me wrong, I love original hardware. Emulation's pretty badass, but having the Switch to do it now, especially with Pokemon Home compatibility, that's just going to really just be the cherry on top. If you grew up in the generation that I did, the Game Boy Advance was a big thing. Well, that and the GameCube, the PS2, and eventually the PSP, but we'll save those for another video. Now, with all the excitement, there is a few things that I'm curious about. So obviously, local trading is going to be a thing. I keep seeing online that people were really pissed off about there's no online trading. That didn't exist in Generation 3, so I don't know why people were really pissy about that, but that's kind of a whole other thing, I guess. But one thing I'm very excited about is I was about 8 years old when I first got Pokemon Fire Red, and I have a 9-year-old son, and I am beyond thrilled to be able to recreate that same experience that we can share together. That's just a huge gaming moment for me, and I'm just so excited to share that with him. As you'll see in the gameplay in the background, I have put quite a bit of hours in Leaf Green and Fire Red. The Leaf Green save that's on my RG406H, this is actually what the recording is from, is both of those games on that handheld console, but I've put a ton of hours in that game, trying to do all the retro achievements. I don't know if I edited that part out, but might be in this video still. The Fire Red that I have, that's actually just a fake cartridge game save that I have that I exported. Too many hours on that also, but you know, I'm super excited to play these games on the Switch. You know, for $20, you know, I wish they would come in a bundle. I think that would have been a better option, but for $20, that is significantly cheaper than going out and trying to find a real copy of this game, because honestly, they're pretty crazy in price. I got my copy of Leaf Green with no label on it for, I think, $94 last summer. That same game now is like $130. So there's that. One thing that I'm very excited about is you just don't have to have the Nintendo Switch Online or the NSO membership to have these games. And that does piss a lot of people off, and I can understand, because they've got the classic Game Boy Advance collections, and the list goes on, and I get it. And a lot of people are pissed off that they didn't have a whole Legacy collection with all of the original games. And to be honest, no offense towards the first generation of Pokemon, but I beat Pokemon Blue a couple months ago, and let me tell you, that game is fucking janky, but it was enjoyable. And I'm glad they picked the better versions of those games to have on the Switch. I think of all the first 3 generation games, they picked the best 2 to start with. Now, I would love to say that this is going to open the doors for Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. Who knows? It may take them another 5 years to do this. They may do it later this year. Hell, they may do it next year. But as long as they keep allowing it to be for $20, I mean, I think that's a fair trade-off. But anyway, these are just some of my thoughts and opinions on this. You know, let's start a conversation. Please comment below. Let's talk about some stuff. And also, real quick, just want to throw this in here. If you enjoy this video or any of my videos, please consider liking and subscribing. Actually, you know what? In fact, just like the video. That does wonders. That pushes it to more people. You know, I make these videos as a hobby. I would like to do this as my full-time job one day, but until then, enjoy the rest of the gameplay of me exploring my Fire Red save file. Bye.